Hello and welcome back to the channel, friends. It is 2020. We made it. We're here. We have arrived. There's been lots of things that have happened the last 2 weeks of 2019 for us, but we're excited to be here with you in 2020 and putting out more videos. Steven has been doing a great job of keeping content up here on YouTube, but I still want to be doing my part and coming up with content for you guys Tuesday and Thursday, so you can expect that for the foreseeable future coming from me. These videos are going to be a little bit different form than what Steven's doing. It's going to be me just kind of talking to you guys, updating you guys on what I'm going through, maybe showing some over-the-shoulder stuff of all the Shopify things that I've been learning and talking about and kind of hinting at. There have been pretty strong hints that that's the direction I'm going in, but I want this to be a more authentic place for me to just share what's going on, in our business. So I hope that you guys will join me on this journey as I quite figure out how to make the best content for you here on YouTube, but I'm excited about it. I feel refreshed in the new year. Like I said, a lot of things happened the last 2 weeks that kind of brought me down. I was a little bit sad in the holiday season, which is not, always where you want to be. I don't think you ever want to be there. So I hope that you guys had great holiday seasons, that you are now in 2020 and just looking at new opportunities or growing on the things that worked for you back in 2019. I feel that we have a great position to be in where we can kind of pivot to wherever we see necessary, which is good. Lots of new opportunities opening up, lots of great ideas between me and Steven, and so we'll be moving on some of those things. But I definitely don't want to get away from all the Shopify knowledge that I learned in the later half of 2019, so I'll be making some of that content, just talking about kind of a case study way of going through some of the jobs that I've done in Shopify and explaining to you guys why I think it's a great backbone for our print-on-demand business, especially the way that I like to do things, which is a lot of partnering ships and learning how to deal structure properly and who to involve in what conversations and how all that comes together, and just showing you guys a more real look at what that takes. That's definitely something that I'm going to be continuing to pursue in 2020, so I want to update you guys and keep you informed on how you can do that, as I'm seeing a lot of questions and people interested in doing that kind of locally the same way that I've been doing it, but there are other areas that we want to grow in as well. I don't want to give off the impression that that's all we'll be talking about in 2020. So if that all sounds good to you, if you're ready to join us on this 2020 adventure, or at least listen to the stuff that we're going through, you can subscribe to this channel, and liking these videos, at least the ones that you actually do enjoy, tells us what direction to be going in, as we're still trying to figure out that YouTube content of, how we can best grow our audience and our community over here on YouTube. But to get a little bit more practical in this video, now that we are in 2020 and I can finally start sharing some of the stuff that I learned in 2019, as we kind of put a bow on all that and the craziness of Q4 is over, I wanted to give you guys, what you can look forward to directly as far as the content that I will be putting out on this channel. So the first thing I want to do, I kind of talked about it earlier, is doing some case studies of 3 jobs that I did last year that were just impactful to me and taught me some lessons. So the first one that I did was our store, and I'm going to be making I don't know about playlists, but at least multiple videos on these topics, as far as the things that I learned, how the deal structuring went, and then things that I took away from this experience. So a couple of videos about each of these, but I just wanted to overlay them here, let you guys know what is coming up. So the first case study that I want to do is on our very first store that we put up, very much so just getting our feet wet, again, trying to learn the Shopify language that you have to understand and how things operate over there. Some extremely silly mistakes that I made that I was just unaware of the things, because that was my first time doing it. So sharing some of those lessons, again, sticking with our WingMan motto of, if we make a mistake, we want you guys to know about it, so that you can, learn from that experience and hopefully not make that mistake yourself. The second case study that I want to talk about is, we're going to call this the Playhouse. It's a nonprofit actually in Michigan, where I was born and raised, that some of my friends work at, and I was given the opportunity to work with them to do some spiritware type things, mostly just for the people who actually work there, so they can identify who's working and who's an audience member and all those great things. And so I was able to work with them, again, learned a lot of lessons about deal structuring and how to work with people, especially long distance. It's kind of local to some of my network in Michigan, but not local to me. So working with people through emails and all these little communication issues that we had, just because I didn't really know how to speak the language of Shopify. Shopify, and I didn't know how to like communicate exactly what we were doing or how much work I had to do and things like that. So sharing again maybe 3-4 videos on some of those things that I learned just from that one job that I did. And then the last one, which was definitely the biggest one, this one took about 8 months to kind of fully wrap up. So a lot of last year was working on this. It was just a lot of conversations trying to figure out how to work together. And we're going to put this one in air quotes as like the music industry. I don't know how much information I can give out about that. I still got to talk to them and see how comfortable they are talking, having me talk about them on this YouTube channel. So we'll see how that goes, but it is someone in the music industry that's, got a fairly large audience, someone that we provided a store for. And kind of the one takeaway, the one thing that I'll say about this here before I make a string of videos on this as well, is just that these jobs are ongoing. So, some of the ones that I've done in past, even on other platforms, it was kind of like a one-time setup fee and then they kind of figured out the rest. But this one's definitely an ongoing process. Like I said, it's been 8 months, so it's a lot of just back and forth trying to figure out exactly what's going to work for us. And I learned a lot of lessons from that. I think the deal that I structured at the beginning just wasn't the greatest because I didn't exactly know what I was doing. I kind of got into that just as we started to figure out what Shopify was, and that was one of the things that sparked me like setting up my own store, so I actually knew what I was talking about. And so, yeah, just a lot of lessons learned there. I don't want to dig into all of it right here, but I will be making a lot of videos on that. Again, just to help you guys understand what it takes to do something like that. Definitely the deal structuring is something that Steven's encouraging me to talk about. That's something that I feel I'm fairly weak on, and in 2020 I'm asking Steven to help me a lot more with setting up those jobs, so you guys can kind of learn alongside me as I go through this process, as that's what it's about. And I just think this is the best fit for me. I really love working with people and helping them see their ideas come to reality, and especially people with audiences. That makes my life a lot easier, not having to do a bunch of marketing and all that stuff that Steven's fairly good at. He's learning for Shopify. He's really good for Amazon, but he's learning that stuff for Shopify. So I kind of jump started us just by partnering with some people with some pretty large audiences. So that's been great. Looking into the future of what's coming up for me, like in the short term that we're working on right now, one of the things is spiritware for schools. This is kind of a weird time to do that, but I think it's a good time to start the conversation, working with schools and sport teams and all of that stuff. That's kind of where I got my start. Actually, now that I think about it, I think we shared stories here on this YouTube page of me going back to the coaches in high school that I personally trained with and that were my coaches, and I just reached out to them like, hey, I'm doing this thing. Do you guys want, to help me? And, I can help you guys with taking away some of the headache that is, ordering spiritware and all that stuff. I can just make a website and send, all the parents to that so they can order stuff. It'll arrive right at the door. It comes from Amazon, so it's all trustworthy on the up and up. And they were all about it. And so that definitely helped boost, the ability to leave the job that I had at the time and start this thing full time. So getting back to that a little bit now that I'm in Atlanta, a little bit more of a local base, I'm starting to learn some of the people in the schools, might even start coaching myself because that's something I enjoy is sports and, seeing younger people just improve in things. And so that's going to open up a few doors there, hopefully. And so I want to talk about that. And then also another thing going on is helping some of the local artists here. Atlanta is an extremely creative city. And so getting to talk to some of the local artists and help them monetize what they're already doing. We've got one artist that creates things similar to like Strange Planet. I don't know if you guys have seen that like Instagram account, but it's these like funny little cartoon things, and it's kind of this own world that this guy has created. And I found someone similar to doing what he's doing and just encouraged her to kind of look at what he's doing, and we can take inspiration from that, and she can share the things going on in her like character's world. And he's got like comic books out and coffee mugs and all these things. I was like, we could very easily help you set up something like that. So working with some of the local artists that have, again, a little bit of an audience, but I think once they learn how to tell their story and just can get encouraged to do that kind of stuff, that, hopefully we see that explode. So going to be sharing more on those topics as the year goes on, as well as I'm learning those lessons. Those deals just started, aren't even 100% official yet. So we'll be updating you guys as I'm just learning lessons in those fields. So hopefully that sounds exciting to you guys. It's exciting to me. It's a little bit overwhelming already at the beginning of the year, just be like, we have all these projects going on. But that's what this time of year is for, is just to try new things. Like I said, Q4 is over now. It's the time to bring in new challenges, new clients, and new ideas, and just see where they go throughout the year. So very excited. Hopefully you guys will join us on this adventure. Leave us a comment down below if any one of those things in particular sound interesting for you, and I'll make sure that we have a few videos talking about that topic, and anything that you guys want us to see. If there's an industry that you'd like us to try to get into, or one that you're trying to get into and you just like some advice, we are thinking about doing those calls again, so we'll figure out a schedule for that and get that up as well. But yeah, just excited about this year. I'm excited to be sharing this more openly with you guys, exactly what's going on in our business. Hopefully that keeps me motivated throughout the year, and encouraging you guys as well, that you guys see what it actually takes. I'm not this genius, I'm not this guru at this stuff, but I am just an honest and open learner who just cares about people having a good solution for their problem, or being able to monetize something that, people want to support them with. So that's where I'm at. I hope that you guys can see that I'm no superhuman, or I don't have this like ginormous team behind me pushing me. It's just a lot of learning that me and Steven are doing. Yes, we have a team that helps us with our actual product side of the business, but as far as like the client work and the stuff that we're sharing here, or at least that I'm sharing here, it's basically just me figuring things out. So again, hope that sounds good to you guys, but I'll wrap this video up here. Very excited about this year, and I will see you guys on Thursday. All right, thanks so much. See you guys around.